How's it going? Hopefully that worked. I don't know if it did. We're gonna find out if we end up with two chat boxes going across. I don't know, but we're gonna find out. But yeah, I was futzing. I was futzing with stuff. Yeah, we got doubles. That's no good. Why do we have doubles? Stop that. That's so weird. Why is it like this? Why you do this? I don't know. I'm still figuring this thing out. I don't know why it does both. It should only be doing one. Hmm. Hmm. I only have one selected. Let's just do that. Then I don't have to worry about it. I moved you guys to the other side because my yelling goblin at the bottom right there was blocking off your pictures, and I thought that was kind of rude and not appreciated. There we go. Should be clear now. I think I fixed it. How's everybody doing? Everybody's doing okay. The sound is kind of muddy. What? Oh, it might be because I'm quiet. I'm a little bit like just not very loud. I got my audio cranked. I could make some adjustment to it though. Maybe, maybe I can do this. You might get a little bit of audio buzz now though from my computer. So let me know if that's any better. Again, it might be because I'm actually just not speaking very loudly. I could just do this and bring the microphone closer and be like, oh, hello. Let's move this cord. Bonk. Bonk. Oh, God. Oh, I see. I do not have any hotkeys set up right now. Let's do this then. Unwrap those from each other, bring that down around over here, and all hunky dory. There we go. Is that a little bit better? I should be in high def too. I should be streaming at 1080p this time. You are drunk and you see it the same. All right, well, I have a couple things that I wanted to talk about, but also I figured I'd just kind of do a little bit more relaxing AMA content this month. Just because the amount of nonsense I've just been doing in the background has been just a lot. It's just been a lot. So I kind of needed a little bit of a break this week. I was starting to get a little bit overwhelmed. So this week is going to be a little bit of a break. We're going to take it a little bit slower. I'm not going to have like some crazy Dumbfeck Friday video that I bust my ass to finish in a week. Although I do have Dumbfeck Friday stuff to talk about, but I do have an art video coming out, and I'm focusing on non sequitur stuff, basically, is the shorthand of it. I have gotten ahead in thumbnails, which is nice. So I got that going for me. How much of a good boy is Puck? All the good boy. All, yes. Yes. He is right there. Hi, Puck. He's a good boy. So he is all of the good boy. Magic the Gathering deck preferences. Slivers or elves? Probably slivers. I stopped playing Magic when I realized it was a pay to win game. I get really tired of I got really irritated on the switch from Phyrexia to Innistrad. And so I only really played draw or draft, I can't remember which one it's called, for Innistrad. But I was playing an infect deck. Because of course I was playing an infect deck. Why wouldn't I be playing an infect deck? Yay! I am that asshole. So I'd probably play... Currently, I wouldn't bother playing standard. I would probably play commander, and I would probably play a green, blue, black deck. Probably. Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh? I'd probably rather play Magic. Yu-Gi-Oh does have a special place in my heart, but maybe only as a video game, not as a card collecting game. That dumb Feck Friday stuff, really dumb. Yeah. Dapper sent me something that I do want to talk about, and it kind of rolls into a little bit of what we were talking about last night. And it kind of rolls into, I just kind of want to talk about communities and like internet communities. And I just want to chat about I want to chat about that a little bit because communities are complicated, and I think expectations are... I think people have some misconceptions about the way creators interact with each other in spaces. In that sometimes it seems like, oh, they've been on a show together, they must be friends. When it's like, oh, I barely talked to that person. I've talked to them like twice, and half of that time was just setting up some kind of collaboration, or they invited me on the show and I said okay. So sometimes there's a misconception when creators talk to each other or YouTube channels talk to each other and are friendly at like the same way you're friendly with a coworker at work that works in another department. You're like, oh hey, yeah, how's it going, Greg? Cool, talk to you later. And then that's it. You never talk to them. You don't know what they're up to. You're not gonna like go talk about their personal life. You don't deal with that person. Hi, Mom. Tapper never interacts with anyone. And then you do have creators that you are friends with. And sometimes as a viewer, especially if you're not watching everybody's content all the time, which is a lot. To be fair, that's a lot. I would not expect everybody to watch everybody's content all of the time. It's not reasonable. I can't even watch all of the content that that time of the month ladies put out. Because like sometimes it's too much content and I'm too busy. So when I can catch Erin, fantastic. I love watching Erin's channel. When I can catch Mika's channel, I try to set up, because she does like videos, recorded videos, I try to set aside a little bit of time to watch a couple of her videos because they're fantastic. Manya's same thing, Claire's same thing. It's one of those things where we cannot watch everybody's everything. I don't even watch all of Steve's content because why would I? You missed the sticking up hair? What, is this not sticking up enough? I mean... Oh no, I'm not wearing earbuds. Those are my glasses. These are my old lady loopies. I am currently drinking just regular orange pico tea with a little bit of milk and a little bit of sugar. Hi, Puck. Hi. You gonna come say hi? You come here? You come here? Oh, hi, buddy. Hey, buddy. Yes. Don't freak out. There's somebody walking around outside. They live there. The neighbors. Anything but the neighbors. There we go. Hi, buddy. I've heard interesting stories from people who interacted with my brothers while they were on Magic the Gathering. Broken lives, lots of debauchery, infidelities, normal things. Yeah, Magic brings out sometimes the worst in people. Oh, my headphones are right here. I don't have them on because I'm the only one here right now. So I don't really need to have them on because I don't have audio of my own voice coming back at me. Oh, like the bangies, like as if it's coming forward. The fringe. The fringe? Oh, hey, Godless Scummer, how you doing? Look like I'm supposed to start a punk band. You need to get some dark black eyeliner. I'm just doing an AMA, basically. I'm talking a little bit about YouTube communities and how they interact. I find that also things tend to get petty really fast. I think that's kind of interesting. I mean, I'm not really that much of a. I don't really think it's that big of a problem as long as you're not taking yourself or whatever you're talking about too seriously. Like, if you're gonna be petty, like don't take it that seriously. Or if you recognize somebody being petty, don't take it that seriously. It's just not. It's just not necessary. But if you're gonna be petty and then take it seriously if people are petty back to you or vice versa, it's like don't come on. My mom asked if you could come and visit next week. Yeah, come visit. Yeah, I don't. I think the only thing I have planned on Wednesdays right now is Dungeons and Dragons, which is tomorrow. And that's like 2 hours of my time. But that's at like, you'd probably be gone by then. Petty YouTube? Never. I know, right? Never. Hello, I used to manage my brother's board game store. Running Magic the Gathering events was awful. Oh no, Gretchen, you poor soul. Magic definitely brings out the worst in people a lot of the time. And running a board game store or a store with the reclusive Magic the Gathering players can just be, I imagine that being an absolute complete nightmare. Yeah, next Wednesday is fine. I have D&D at some point. Who is the person who is the most harmful with their platform? KJ, Keemstar, Puny. Overall, or just between those three? Because I have seen worse than all three of them on YouTube. Like, it kind of depends. If it's between those three, I don't find Keemstar that I don't know if he's that harmful. Like, he's kind of just a dude bro, so I don't know who he's harming. I mean, some of the things he says is problematic, but I don't know how much harm it causes. Whereas I find KJ is more malicious towards individuals, and like actively harming towards not just her audience, but also other audiences and other groups. So I would probably, between those three, say KJ. Puny's not even on the radar. Godless Scummer says, things do tend to get petty with YouTube. I now try to stay out of the YouTube fights. I've gotten involved before and regretted it. The thing is if you're gonna jump in, look before you leap. Yeah, none of those are anywhere near the top 10 problematic YouTubers. Yeah. I wouldn't call them. I would agree with that. I mean, I've seen people complaining and wanting KJ's YouTube channel taken down, and I can definitely understand why, but I don't know. I'm not sure where the expectation that YouTube would have stepped in is coming from, because how long did it take before anything happened to Onision? And how much actually ended up happening to Onision, right? Like, And a lot of the problematic stuff with Onision was people getting too involved in a way where they started like looking for things, and in looking for things and in trying to like help and involve themselves, they ended up like screwing up a lot of the investigation. It was really hard to sift through what he had actually done and what was just bullshit stories. And so like the thing is with problematic YouTubers and people that are problematic, you don't need to make things up about them. And you shouldn't have to be reaching at grasping at straws, right? You should be able to just be like, hey, this is what they did, here's where it is, and done, and leave it alone, and let people decide, let people figure it out, right? And sometimes things need to be addressed, obviously more than once or from different angles, and that's fine. But if you do a good job doing like whatever exposure you need to expose, outside of answering a couple of questions or maybe doing follow-up after the fact, there's really no need to make video after video after video after video, because if you're doing that, you didn't succeed, right? Because if you succeeded, you don't have to do more videos, because everything's wrapped up nicely in your first one, maybe two. And then if the person like starts doing more stuff, then yeah, right? Then there's like, if the situation is escalating and like a couple weeks or a month down the line, you're like, oh, okay. I mean, I did my Keeping Up with Katie Joy weekly as like just for funsies. It wasn't serious. I just wanted to see how long I could like follow where she was going, and it was just like, this is ridiculous. Who would you say are some of the more problematic? I mean, is Onision still on? Because I would say he's probably one of the worst that I've ever seen. I did recently watch Draw with Jazza, who you should totally check out, by the way. Draw with Jazza is amazing. I did watch his expose video about, what's that guy's name? ZD? I think the guy's name is Zach. And I would say he's problematic for sure. Mostly because he's implosive to the community that he kind of ponied onto, and he's the kind of person who's like just steps on others to climb and then just shits on them when he's at the top. So I'm not a fan of that. I think like the toxic dude bro, look at all my money flexing is not only cringy but also like not healthy for a community, or for, especially when you have content that's directed at children. And that's not. So I would probably include that, like the Shane Dawson, Logan, and Jake Paul. I would call that problematic, but maybe for different reasons. What's my favorite TTRPG that isn't D&D? I haven't probably Gamma World, actually. Gamma World. I don't have a whole lot of experience with very many, so it's hard to say, but I don't have a lot of experience, I guess. But Gamma World, super fun. Loved Gamma World. I'm all for it. Please throw in some troublesome once in a while. Problematic gets tiresome from the overuse. Yeah, okay, that's fair. I would say Jake and Logan Paul are troublesome. Except for like they have a couple of more serious problematic overarching things. Oh, thanks, Godless Scummer. It's fine. I kind of figured what had happened. It's really hard sometimes to know about all of the nonsense that goes on between everybody all of the time, and so it's hard to keep up, and especially when people behave differently in different places. And that's not necessarily always bad. It's important to cater to your audience, but there is a line where you start to cross where you start being two-faced, where you're not authentic anymore, or at least you're lying. Where in one, like, I don't behave the same way on my channel as much as I do on like somebody else's platform, right? Because it's not my platform. So I try to like cater to their expectations, right? Or whatever their channel rules are, or whatever it is that they're talking about. My sense of humor is not appropriate for everywhere, and that's fine. I don't think that people should cater towards me if I'm invited on. Of course not. It's somebody else's house. Oh, I forgot about James Charles entirely. Yeah, that's a person. I think vexing, yeah, vexing is a different thing. Like that would be like YouTubers that annoy me. And like that's such a personal, like subjective thing about what do you find annoying in content creation, right? So sometimes like when somebody is recording and they do a lot of jump cuts, that can be really annoying. That can be really problematic. Not problematic, sorry, vexing. That could like that could be distracting. Um, I don't know. It's true. I always use up Dapper's F bomb. I try my best. Try to be on my best behavior on Dapper's channel. And then he like challenges me and puts me through the ringer because he shows me the most god awful nonsense. It's just like you're not supposed to swear here, and I'm like, if you read lit RPG stories, which are your favorites? I'm caught up on the ones I'm following. What is lit RPG stories? I don't know. I don't know what that is. It sounds interesting. If you find YouTubers annoying, why are you even watching them? Yeah, absolutely. I would agree with that. Sometimes they're invasive though. So like YouTube's recommended or something autofilling. But yeah, if you find somebody annoying, you probably shouldn't be following them. That's something that goes with communities though, right? If you have a community that's based on like your hatred for something, that should be maybe not your main community. And if you've made friends and found like catharsis and found people that you can vent to that understand what you've gone through, see if you can find other things in common with the people that you actually like, because that will prevent you from kind of having what feels like a positive relationship with somebody be tainted by the only thing that you guys really get along with or along about is your dislike of somebody else. Because that's a way to meet people, not a way to make friends. I'll put it that way, if that makes sense. Red or white wine? Red. I prefer red wines. Lit RPG stories are usually fantasy stories, commonly sword and sorcery, but they follow RPG game mechanics. The character gain levels, learn spells or skills. That's interesting. I'll have to look into that because that sounds cool. I don't know how much time I actually have to to read them. I barely have time to read the books that I do have that I'm writing scripts about. Nobody understands alignment, by the way. Why? I don't know. It's not a relationship. Yeah, it's closer to a relationship. Oh, there was a correct answer to the type of wine. I prefer red wines. I'll drink a white. I prefer red. It's less of a dislike of white wine and more of a enjoyment of red. Yeah, well, yeah, there's like dry reds and then there's like the more fruity tasting ones. I like both. Both is good. Do I think Ford will get voted in again? Probably. unfortunately. He will probably get voted in again. Southern Ontario is very conservative and it's really annoying. Well, it's not even entirely, it's Toronto. Toronto and Northern Ontario. And because Ontario is so big and the way the districts are, you're kind of bound to be stuck with conservative politics. At least in Ontario. So yeah, I think Ford will get voted in again. Not because I want him there. Athens makes a good point. You're not friends, you're acquaintances. If you're together under a hatred of one person, yeah, you don't really like each other, right? You just like that the other person doesn't like the same person you don't like. And that's the most shallow shit. It's like, hey, we're all friends because we all have blue eyes. We don't know anything about each other. Hey, you don't like that person? I don't like that person. Let's not like this person together. Cool. Now what? Like I said, it's a fine way to meet people. It's totally fine to have that cathartic to be like, look at this annoying shit and like can kind of consolidate with other people about what is annoying and like what bothers you. But it's not really it's not going to be a very positive place if that's all you do. Ooh, is it? That's nice to hear, Ginger. That's a gorgeous area. I'd love to live up there. I'm jealous now. I've been up there a few times. I don't use shaving. Ask me what flavor of shaving lotion you prefer. What flavor of shaving lotion do you prefer, Chemo? What kind of beer is the best? Oh my god, what a difficult question. Dapper, why are you doing this to me? Um, I mean, it kind of depends. I like Kilkenny. Kilkenny is my current favorite beer. But it's expensive, so I don't buy it very often. it's it's like a it's like a beer milkshake. Love it. Polar bears are a fantastic shot. If you're looking for like a light, crisp, is going to go down easy and get you drunk shot, make polar bears. You want a cheap way to get drunk at home? Make polar bears. Delicious. I mean, Athens, you'd be right if he actually was able to sell anything. Reese's Puffs or Cocoa Puffs? Neither. Rice Krispies. Rice Krispies are amazing. The best kind of beer is free. Very good point. Very good point. Is there a shot called Black Bear? There probably is. There's a shot called everything. Or there's a shot for pretty much any name you can think of. If you could come over to the UK, would you go on a pub crawl? Yes, I would absolutely go on a pub crawl. I would be remiss and I would be very sad if I went and visited the UK and didn't go on a pub crawl. I feel like that would just be a missed opportunity entirely, and if that is not part of the trip, I don't know why I'm going. Sushi or sashimi? Probably sushi. I've slowly garnered a taste for sushi. I'm not a big fan of seafood of any kind. So I've taken like a couple of years to build up a better palate for that. So when I just don't like, I also still don't like seaweed. So I tend to prefer the ones that have very little to no seaweed wrap. Um, I also don't like bad sushi, so I have to go to like the higher end places to get, to get make sure it's decent. Otherwise, I'm just like, bleh. Favorite Game Boy Zelda game? I don't think I played any Game Boy Zelda games. Have you been to Cowbell? I've had Cowbell the beer, which is very good. I don't know where Cowbell is, so probably not. Boris or Natasha? Natasha. Definitely Natasha. Hello! Welcome. Welcome to my AMA. Twinkling. Yeah. So there's actually a beer. I also like Wellington County Dark. Wellington County Dark is very good. And one of the fun things about that beer is that is a beer that can be served warm and flat and still be good. Like it's served that way on purpose. Listen, squirrel. Does Puck only eat dog food or some human food? Oh, he eats human food all the time. Like he pretty much gets he is my I don't rinse my dishes, I puck my dishes. So like when I've finished a plate of food, I give him the plate to rinse off for me so there's never any food crust. Um I also tend to give him the last bite of whatever it is that I'm eating. As long as it's not like as long as it's okay for him to have. If I'm eating something that he can't have, then he doesn't get it. And then he just looks really sad. He just looks really upset and it's depressing. Am I familiar with the Palladium? Palladium TTRPG? No. Let me look at it. I'm a D&D nerd. I don't know like dick about other TTRPGs. Oh, that looks neat. I was familiar with one called Pan was it Pandemonium? It was something to do with like you took you were going through like some kind of horror nightmare of like your character's psychology. That was interesting. I set up for that one. Never got to play it, but it was interesting. Klingon or Dothrakai? Ferengi. No, I never did get to play Oracle of Ages nor Oracle of Seasons. I didn't play Phantom Hourglass. I was actually not very interested in Zelda. I didn't actually like Ocarina of Time that much, and I did not like Majora's Mask. Like, I appreciated it for what it was, but I did not enjoy playing it, so I didn't. Um, I never played Wind Waker. I didn't play Skyward Sword. I know a lot about Zelda, but I haven't played most of them. I really love Breath of the Wild, though. Oh yeah, I know Call of Cthulhu. Palladium. Palladium? Palladium? Fantasy role-playing game set in the world some 10,000 years after a great war between elves and dwarves. First published in 1983. Seems interesting. I've played Final Fantasy Tactics. I played it on the PSP, I think. I didn't play very much of it because I was boring somebody else's when I played it, but it was fun. Guinness or Pilsner? Hmm, Pilsner probably. I'm not the biggest Guinness fan. Best Fallout game? I had trouble with with Fallout 3, so probably New Vegas, which I've only like messed in a little bit. Palladium. Only played Final Fantasy Crisis Core 14 and 15. Final Fantasies are interesting. Final Fantasy, what's the online one? 14? I mean, it's pretty good. I've played that one a little bit. As somebody who doesn't like MMOs, it was a pretty good. Terra was actually pretty fun. Herb or extract? I do enjoy gummies. I do enjoy gummies. Baked goods. Tea. Tea. Sorry, I'm just catching up on chat. I don't drink ciders very often. Like, they're not bad. I just don't drink them very often. What music am I into? Oh, my favorite band is Mariana's Trench, and I do still enjoy me some like 80s hair rock, like some Bon Jovi. Maybe some Axl Rose. Spicy. If you had to go to a nursing home when you're old, what part of the nation would you choose? Asking for a friend. Oh my god. This is a kind of a loaded question, don't you think? I mean, if politics moves the direction they keep espousing, then probably Ontario would be fine. But I'd be curious to look into like maybe a small town New Brunswick. It's my favorite PC or console RPS. Oh, I don't know. Favorite chemicals, H2O. Hi, Kino. Cowbell Brewery is in Blythe. Is it? I've had Cowbell. I've never been to Blythe, I don't think, but I've had Cowbell. It's good. I like Cowbell. Motley Crue or Def Leppard? Def Leppard. Definitely. Queen. Also Queen. Love me some Queen. Queen's fantastic. Why did this person... Oh, okay. Never mind. I thought somebody just tweeted Laura Bailey about, like, the null hypothesis and was very, very confused. Oh, RPGs. My favorite PC or console RPGs. Are JRPGs included? Because my favorite is Tales of the Abyss. Specifically Tales of the Abyss. The other Tales games are good for the most part, but Tales of the Abyss is my favorite. Trying to think of like the last one I played. I am enjoying Breath of the Wild. It's fantastic. I'm loving Pokemon Snap. Pokemon Snap's a lot of fun. Why are you making a pancake? Because pancakes are delicious. What do you mean? Why wouldn't you be making a pancake? Oh, the question is why are you making only one? You monster? What are you thinking? You shouldn't need to make at least 5. Sonic or Mario? It depends on the question. It kind of depends about what. Character design? Sonic. Gameplay? Mario. Being a successful franchise? Mario. Favorite pizza? Canadian with green pepper. So for anybody who doesn't know what a Canadian, here it is considered a pepperoni, cheese, bacon crumble, mushrooms, sometimes pepperoni, depending on where you get it from, and I like to add green pepper to it. Table-sized pancake or a pancake-sized table. Joke's on you, they're both mimics. If you were given unlimited budget, where would you go on holiday? You're limited to a 3-week holiday. I would probably spend 2 weeks traveling around Europe and 1 week just to the cottage that I go to. I just have a week of like something I'm familiar with that I can just relax and enjoy. Europe is good because it's like pretty condensed and you can see a lot in 2 weeks. So I'd probably want to do that. 2-week pub crawl around Europe. OG Queen or the Adam Lambert abomination? Well, obviously OG Queen, but I do love me some glam entertainment, which is Adam Lambert. So I love listening to me some Adam Lambert. That is some spicy jams, which I do enjoy. Though I've never heard his Queen renditions, so that might upset me. Should pineapple be on pizza? I mean, should and oughts are. Yeah, why not? Fuck it. Put whatever you want on a pizza. Who cares? Do you like eating it? Then yes, eat it. Did you okay with Barbies or Pokemon? Oh, did I play with Barbies or Pokemon as a kid? Both? Both. I had a mermaid Barbie I played with a bunch when I was a kid. Why 62? I don't know. I didn't come up with it. I have no idea. Probably because it rhymes, but I mean, any two would rhyme with IQ, so I don't know why 60 was the decision. I don't know. I didn't. I have no idea. I didn't make that up. I just adopted it. It was thrown at me, and I was like, "I'm keeping this. This is mine now." Still, no, never talk to me or my child ever again. Chocolate banana pizza with strawberries on top. I mean, that just sounds like a crepe. That just sounds like a dessert crepe. That sounds fine to me. As long as you're using the right kind of dough, yeah. Or are you suggesting that you have chocolate banana with strawberries on top on a like pepperoni and cheese pizza? I mean, I don't think that's something I would like, but if you like it, who's stopping you? Put whatever you want on your pizza. It's your pizza. Don't let other people tell you how to live your life. Yeah, just call your pancake a crepe. Sonic has great milkshakes and jalapeno poppers. No, do they? I don't think there's a Sonic I don't think I've ever been to a Sonic. I don't even know if there's one anywhere near me. There probably is not. There probably is not one. I know that there's actually a Denny's like somewhere in the vicinity, but I don't know where. Why did I hack off all of my hair? You look great with short hair, but your hair was pretty and long. My hair clip broke is the short answer. So I struggle with my hair being all over the place all of the time, and it gets really, really frustrating. And you'll notice, like, just before I cut all my hair off, my hair clip broke. And then I was like, I'm done with this. Get rid of it. I left it alone for a little while, and I was just like, get it gone. I've also wanted to try it, having it this short for a really long time. And one of the reasons I didn't was because like I felt like I couldn't pull it off and I felt like I was too fat in the face. But I just decided to do it anyway, and then I ended up losing a bunch of weight. So that's how it go. That's how it do, I guess. Basically, I like having it long. I'm actually going to grow the top a little bit. I'm going to keep the back and the sides about this length, but I'm gonna let the top get long and see how it goes. I kind of like it about this length, to be honest, when it's behaving. It's not usually like I like when it sits like this, it's fine, but sometimes like that's because I've been keeping it, like I've been rinsing it, but I haven't been using shampoo for like since yesterday. So it has like a little bit of my hand oil in it. So it's got a little bit of integrity to it and a little bit of like texture. And so without that, it falls really weird and flat, and I don't like that. Sonic is only in the southern United States. So I guess now I have to travel all the way to the southern United States to go get a milkshake and jalapeno poppers. Noted. Crepes are delicious. Go get a crepe. Go get one. Jolly, nothing's stopping you. Go get a crepe. Favorite whiskey-based cocktail? I don't drink a lot of whiskey. There was a whiskey I think it was a vanilla-based whiskey called White Owl that was pretty good, but I never made cocktails out of it. I mean, I really like strawberry daiquiris. Strawberry daiquiris are delicious. But that's not whiskey, that's rum. I do like White Russians, but I'm pretty sure those are rum too, aren't they? You wish you were brave enough to go that short? Well, what are you worried about? Because, like, if you're worried that your hair's not going to go grow back the same, I can understand that. I feel like my hair actually got thicker. But, I mean, I was also pretty stressed out. And I'm not quite so stressed out anymore. So, not being stressed out has probably made my hair a little bit more healthy. But I mean, it's possible. Like I shaved. I straight up the sides and the back were like I had like the same razor I used on my legs. I used that kind of a razor on my head. So get a professional to do it though. If you're unsure and you're making a jump, get a professional to do it because my sister did mine and then I did mine with the last time I cut my hair I did it with a flat razor and kitchen scissors, and then my upstairs neighbors lent me a buzzer just to help even it out a little bit. Good morning from New Zealand. Good morning. Why do you make yourself suffer by not drinking more whiskey? I'm just not the biggest fan of whiskey. Like it's fine. I like it once in a while, but I prefer rum or rye. Favorite book series? I don't know. The Legend of Drizzt is good. It's long. If you limit it to like the Crystal Shard, I think that's 4 books. If you limit it to the 4 Crystal Shard, I would say yeah, dive into that. If you want more than the Hunter series within that, as well as the prequels, which is like the Sojourn and Homeland, also very good. Legend of Drizzt is good. I'd probably pick that for a book series at the very least. You have a really small head and chubby cheeks. That could be adorable. Then it's just a matter of finding the right kind of short hair. Just like Google search round face short hair and see what you find. See what comes up. You'll find something that'll fit you. I mean, Snow White had short hair and a round face. Do it up. This is an important question and I need to answer correctly. Tequila and lime or rum and coke? Rum and coke. Rum and coke. I refuse to drink tequila anymore. There's only one way I will drink tequila anymore in my life, and it is as a prairie fire. For anybody who doesn't know what a prairie fire is, it is a shot of tequila and Tabasco. That's the only way I'll touch tequila anymore. White Russian is vodka, Kahlua milk. Thank you, yes. Old fashions, I don't even know how long it's been since I had an old fashioned, so I would have to. I do not drink whiskey very often. I feel like now I just need to go get a bottle of whiskey and make a handful of cocktails and see which one I like. Digital art aside, favorite form of media to work with? Sketchbook and pencils. I I do enjoy like just get me a mechanical pencil, get me like one sketch pencil, and get me like a notebook size book, and I am a happy camper. I also do enjoy inking sometimes, so line art, so a little bit of like just black pen, felt pen sometimes. Music, Butcher Barbie's Dream Theater, and I don't know that one. How long until a certain former YouTuber, chef, thief has a new mugshot? Weeks, days, weeks, months, years. Um, I would probably give him years at this point. I think he's pretty spooked and pretty out of options. So I think that it will be a little while before we hear or see much. Unless he decides to not follow through with the settlement. Because if that's the case, then probably somewhere between 6 and 8 months from now. I've heard good things about the Dresden Files. Have I ever read the Foundation series by Isaac? No, I have not. I'm not familiar with that. I do like dark chocolate. Dark chocolate is very good. I'm not much of a I don't eat a lot of sweets. So I don't tend to eat very much chocolate or Smarties or candy very often. And if I do get candy, I usually get like maybe gummies or maybe like sweet tarts, which sweet tarts in Canada are sour. Um, and they're like a hard candy, they're not a powder. So maybe, but I tend to eat like more savory stuff. So I tend to prefer things like chips. Do I ever use the classic giant news? Oh, hold on. It ran away. Come back, Al. Did you ever use the classic giant newsprint and charcoals for arts? No. I mostly because I'm self-taught. So I was never really in a class that made you experiment with different mediums. I have played a little bit with charcoal, but never like the big. I haven't really done any like large pieces of traditional art. And I've never really got to play with paints very much because they're expensive and setting up. My living situation has not ever really been conducive. Like right now, I have a really great workspace, but it's very catered to what I currently do, and because it's very catered to what I currently do, if I want to try to do something else, so if I wanted to do like if I wanted to set up acrylics or if I wanted to set up watercolor, I have to rearrange my entire setup and area. So because I need to put it up, take it down, put it up, take it down, it's just not very conducive to what I tend to do. But Godless Scummer for 5 says, congratulations, you've answered correctly, which earns you a super chat. Tequila and Lime was the short-lived show hosted by Kyle and Prolib. Wait, what? It was? How many episodes did that have? Oh my god. I didn't even know about that. I heard that they were working together on something, which is kind of gross on its own, but I didn't know they actually managed to get something. Oils or acrylics? I I haven't gotten to play with them enough to make a decision. I would like to play with oil paint at some point. That would be fun. Are you planning content on your channel or just find a topic in the morning when you wake up? I tend to plan content most of the time. depending on what I'm doing. So if I'm doing art, then I haven't, then the topic is the art, and whatever conversation comes from that just sort of naturally comes and forms from that. Videos are planned and scripted, and edited. Um, Other than that, if I'm like hosting something a little bit more like this, I usually at least come with a topic in mind. Puck, 1 or 2 boops. Puck, what do you prefer? He's asleep. Hi, buddy. Nope. He's taking a snooze. I should turn on a light though. It's starting to get dark already. You have a shit ton of art supplies and you want to send me stuff? Hit me up on Twitter DMs. Did I play Deltarune or Undertale? No, I did watch a bunch of playthroughs though. And so I never ended up playing it, but I absolutely loved everything about both of them. I thought they were fantastic. I don't know how many episodes they did, but it was a deliberate fuck you to Steve's Rum and Coke nights. Why? Rum and Coke? Okay, remember earlier when I said that things on YouTube can get petty? Like, that's just petty. Like, I wouldn't even be mad. Like, if somebody decided to make a video series out there that's ripping off or ripping on that time of the month and it's called like Periods Weekly. Just, I don't know, something like that'd be funny. Like, I wouldn't be bothered by that. That's just petty and funny. Do it. Somebody go make that channel. Periods Weekly. And then be like a bait and switch and be all about punctuation and grammar on Twitter or something. Yeah, free content idea. You're welcome. That'd be you could do a whole channel on that, and it would be amazing. Just sitting down and just like going through with a red pen with like music in the background of like grammatical errors and like maybe written notes on the side that say like why it's wrong. Just shitting on Twitter grammar all day. Do it. Periods Weekly. Alternative to that time of the month, morning wood, or that time in the morning. What is one purchase that you regret making? I mean, I've bought food before that I didn't really like. Uh, a purchase that I regret making. You know, I bought a glass table once, a long, long, long time ago, and it was like a drafting table, so it tipped up. And I was using it to basically take my sketches, put them and tape them underneath, and do so I could basically trace my work and clean it up and make it nicer. And I never really got to take advantage of that table very much. So I guess that. I'm guessing you're talking about the unoriginal peons that can only survive if they have someone to hate. I mean, we talked about that a little bit. Actually, Dapper sent me something 2 days ago, I think, that I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit. So let me just pull that up real quick. I'm not going to put it on screen. I'm just going to read it to you. He posted it on Twitter. Let me see if I can. Yeah, okay. All right, hold on. I'll be right back. I need to pee. So I'm still watching side chat, so I'll catch up in a second. But I'll be back. Hold on. Yo, I've had a lot of tea to drink today. Okay, sorry. I'm just gonna catch up real quick on chat, and then I'll talk about what I was bring up what I was talking about that Dapper sent me. The daily period. Brilliant. Inkboy says, don't forget to take your camera with you and don't wash your hands like a certain someone did on stream. Why would you... Well, okay, first off, why would you not wash your hands every time you use the bathroom? Secondly, why would you take your camera with you? What? Why are you like you? That is, you just did not think this through. That's something like, yeah. Discovery Channel Snark Week. I like that. That's a good idea. Snark Week. If Chesh starts not washing her hands, does that mean a booger blanket would be in her future? Probably. Okay. I think I'm all caught up. Let's take a look here. So Dapper sends me this screenshot from his community tab. I guess he posted something, and he posted somebody who is a Christian who is pro LGBTQ plus and saying that Christianity should be LGBTQ plus pro, right? Saying like, hey, listen, just because you're a Christian doesn't mean you should hate LGBTQ people, and here's why you should actually be pro LGBTQ plus people, etc., etc. And so this person had responded saying, can we just dismiss the fact like that people like her, meaning the pro LGBTQ plus religious person, exist, question mark, and keep talking about young earth creationists like Kent Hovind, Matt Powell, and Steven Anderson? Dapper said no. Good answer. I approve of this answer. And then they had responded and said, huh, that's sad. I like finding things to hate about young earth creationists and religious practices across the board. I'm going to just dismiss what you showed here as, one, it has nothing to do with paleontology, and two, I don't like the fact that a young earth creationist has the capacity to accept LGBT. It adds unwelcome nuance. There's so much wrong with this kind of like mentality of that, hey, I'm just here to shit on people who think this is true. They can't be right about anything else that's unrelated. So I just want them to be the bad guy about everything all of the time. And I talked about this a little bit yesterday while I was over on the Not Rum and Coke night that ended up happening on Steve's channel, where, because like this is something that you concern happened within the anti-Jimmy Snow kind of community that sprung up. Same thing with the anti-KJ community. It's the same with the anti-Steve community. It's the same with like the anti-religious community. When you become anti-something, right? When all of your focus is on the anti of a thing to the point where you're like, nuance is unwelcome. I don't like that there are people who think differently or agree with me about a separate topic, because they can't what you're saying when you say, I don't like the fact that young earth creationists have the capacity to accept LGBTQ, it adds unwelcome nuance, tells me you're just looking for a bad guy to shit on so you can feel better about yourself, and you don't actually give a shit about the topic. And you don't care about LGBTQ plus people either, because you should be encouraging young earth creationists to be pro LGBTQ plus if you are pro LGBTQ plus. Tell me you don't care about the LGBTQ plus community without telling me you don't care about the LGBTQ plus community. Because the thing is that young earth creationism has nothing to do with whether or not someone is bothered about who you're having sex with. Kind of want to see a flat earth argument for a single perspective for flat earth by using Lorentz contraction. Guy sounds like he's part of New Atheist TM, right? But the fun is in the nuance. I agree with that, AT2. Worst Christian pastor, Matt Powell or Greg Locke? Depends. I would say probably Greg Locke is more influential than Matt Powell, from my understanding. And so I would say Greg Locke is more directly dangerous than Matt Powell is. Matt Powell is just a clown. He's wrong and he's horrible, but I don't think he's as dangerous because his ideas and his stuff doesn't have as much influence. If he becomes more influential, then yeah, I would probably put him above. They're the same person. One is like they're the same person. When uploading a cat video to YouTube, do I say it's for children? I don't know. What's the cat video about? It could be. I would say no. Frozen Supreme Pizza or Wendy's 4 for $4 for dinner. I've never had either of those things. I do like the number 4 combo at Wendy's, which is the bacon classic. I'm a Christian and I support LGBTQ and many things. That guy can go fuck themselves for being stuck in an echo chamber and can't change their mind. It doesn't acknowledge that there is compartmentalization that occurs within people. Right. So the thing is if you're pro-LGBTQ, it would behoove you to be accepting of people that are also pro-LGBTQ+, despite whatever, about that position, despite what other issues they may or may not have. So if they're like, hey, I think the Earth is 6,000 years old, but yeah, I think LGBTQ+ people should have rights, which is more important? Where's your priorities? Are your priorities that the Earth is going to be mad that you think it's young, or are you more concerned about LGBTQ+ people having the rights that every people should have? It just tells me that this person doesn't give a shit and they just want there to be a big bad guy that they can feel superior to and feel morally superior to because they're not a very moral individual, or they don't have very good morals, in my opinion. Whatever that's worth. This guy's name is G Fish, by the way. Capital G, capital F. So GF. Because I don't care about hiding that guy's name. Fuck this guy. They also ended up replying. I think there was more to this, wasn't there? Oh. Yeah, Dapper ended up saying nuance is important. I'm not going to ignore it because someone prefers to paint young earth creationists with a broad brush. And then they said, then he says, have I broken any rules because I'm not certain I have? What? All I have stated was my position on making people aware of a specific person that holds a contrary position from most of that individual identified group. Yes, highlight the positivity in a negative group. If there is a group that you disagree with, it is very important and it is very much in your favor to highlight people that agree with you within that group when they are unique to that own group. Like, what? Why would you not want to do that? Especially if you're pro-LGBTQ+. Why would you not encourage people who are the minority in their group of whatever their other belief is about LGBTQ things? Why would you not want to encourage that and applaud that? Because that's good. That's the thing that's good for LGBTQ+ people. Why are you like this? I don't believe this is in violation of the stated rules to my knowledge. I mean, it's kind of hateful towards LGBTQ+ people, but, you know, whatever. If I have violated any rules, I need to know which ones and how. I still hold my position regardless. I mean, you basically just said how you just like shitting and hating on people. Like, I don't know if there's a rule that was broken, but your splish splash, your opinion is trash. Your position is that all I'm going to ignore these facts because it goes against my position of hatred. That is the thing that people complain about when it comes to young earth creationism, or when it comes to religious groups. Some people in religious groups will ignore basic facts and things that are put, and flat earthers, they will ignore things that are basic facts so they can maintain their belief. This person is ignoring the fact that this woman who is a young earth creationist and pro LGBTQ+, because it goes against their desire to segregate and hate another group of people based on a belief. You're the same thing. You are the same problem that people have with young earth creationists and religious groups. You're the same problem. You are the same thing. And this is the problem when it comes to things like communities. And what are you, as if you're building a community, what are you building your community for and around? Is your community based off of hating on something or someone? That's easy. It's easy to make a group based on that, and it's going to spiral out of control and probably be pretty garbage. Or are you building your community on something else? Is there something of value that you are trying to build your community around? That's harder. That's far more difficult. That's far more nuanced. It doesn't just happen. This happens in any kind of group or community. And you can make a hate community about anything. You can have something that is like, hell, this happened with the anti-Onision community. Yeah, Onision's an asshole who needed to be, like, taken down. Like, he needed to be stopped. He was abusing people. That's pretty fucked up. But because of toxic interference, because it was a group based around the hatred of somebody, that toxicity and that habitual anger, like rush of emotion, spins out of control into other things, and you start justifying your behaviors, and you're justifying like, hey, I'm fudging this a little bit, but it'll help because then people will get more attention on Onision because they'll think it's true. You start justifying shitty behavior and shitty positions and shitty shit, like fucking G-Fish over here. G-Fish 17. Bleh. Oh, Dapper said this was after he sent him a list of channel rules and pointed out that he broke number 4, which is don't be a bigot. And yeah, he's being bigoted. I would agree with that. I agree with Dapper on that. I would say that saying that you would throw LGBTQ people, like hang them out to dry over the, because you want to hate on somebody because of the age of the earth, is pretty bigoted and shitty. It's also shitty to just throw additional beliefs onto people because you don't like them or because you disagree with a fact of the matter. Just online drama queens? A little bit, yeah. I think there's what would define the difference? Now I'm asking you guys questions. What would define the difference between a drama queen and a drama whore? Because I don't mind people being like emotional and dramatic as long as they're just not making shit up. Like, YouTube can be theatrical. That's part of the appeal of YouTube. That's part of the appeal of a show, right? And so to me, it makes sense that people are going to be a little bit over dramatic about things sometimes. It's just a matter of, I feel like people just take shit too seriously sometimes. What do you think getting everyone to get along would settle? Nothing. I don't think everybody can just get along. I think that's a useless sentiment. The thing is like, I think it needs to be normalized that people can just tell each other to fuck off and go their separate ways, and not have everybody telling them to sort out their differences and be better people. Like, no, they don't like each other. Leave them alone. let them go their own ways. It's okay. That's the adult thing to do. Where's the anti-anchovies on pizza community? I thought that was just the normal pizza community. I thought that was the pizza community. I don't know. Watching on big screen beta Dapper Dinosaur VR Chesh. Nice. Nice! I'm huge! Should Boris Johnson go to prison? I don't know enough. I've only seen the memes. I don't know what actually happened with that, so I would say I don't know, but probably. Hypothetical D&D campaign where all the classes start with the word drama. Drama bard, drama cleric, drama paladin, drama barbarian, drama druid. I am a fan of everything about this. I approve this message. Favorite time period to live in no later than 1900s. Now, I don't want to live any further in the past. I might be interested in living further into the future. I do not think I am interested in living in any past time period because I am a small female person. And I feel like going backwards in time at all would just end up being bad for me. So I am perfectly comfortable and accepting of the time period I am currently living in. I don't want to go backwards. I do not want it. I'm going to paint my nails this hot pink. But I'm not going to do it right now. I just wanted to check to make sure that it was still good. Carrots and turnips are pretty standard pizza toppings in the Soviet Union, I've heard. Why is everybody making a big deal about somebody having some friends over for beers? Brandy's good. Oh, I haven't had brandy in a long time. I remember having cherry brandy, and I liked that. That was good. Drama wizard instead of expert at summoning drama bolts and drama storms. Drama ball. What if you could be a man then? If I was a man and going back in time? I mean, the 50s, probably. After World War II. I'd probably want to be a boomer. Probably. Probably what I would want to do. Because then I could just go work factory, work a regular 9-to-5 job, buy whatever the fuck I want. Have a family. Own a house. Make some decent investments, maybe. Not be a dick to my wife. And not having the internet would suck. I feel like the 50s would be good. I'd want to own a bar. Oh, before the 1900s. I might... The peak of Egypt might be interesting. I might want to live there in that time period. I don't know how it was for women then, but I also don't know what year that would be. But peak of Egypt seems like it would be interesting. The peak of the Roman Empire also, like you die before the downfall of Rome, particularly if you lived in the heart of Rome and weren't poor. He said we the public weren't allowed to get together for Christmas because of lockdown. He had a party in November 10th and said he didn't know that we couldn't have parties. I mean, that's just stupid. I don't know if he should go to jail for it. It just sounds like he's being a hypocritical dumbass. There were some people in that were part of Parliament in Canada that did that, where they like traveled and they just lost their jobs. Like they didn't go to jail. Yeah, that's the thing. I would need to learn a little bit more about Egypt history, but I feel like that would be the most interesting to me. What alcohol do I dislike? I'm not the biggest fan of Zambuca because I do not like the taste of licorice. I hate Jaeger. I hate Jaeger. Ugh. Ugh. I'm also not a big fan of tequila. I hate Jaeger. Jaeger is nasty. Ugh. Blech. Trash. Garbage. I also don't like Fireball because I don't like cinnamon. Nasty. I'm gonna get shit on for not liking Fireball. You want to own a bar, is that what I said? Yeah, that was if I lived in the 50s. I mean, I'd be fine with owning a bar now. That's actually something Steve and I had talked about, that if Non Sequitur kicks off and does as well as we hope it can do, that we would pool some of the Non Sequitur show resources and make a non-sec bar that people could go to and host like conversations and food and drinks and have like an open mic debate night and stuff like that and host shows from the bar, and that'd be a lot of fun. While everyone was supposed to be in lockdown and not being able to go to other people's houses, Boris had parties at number 10. Oh, number 10 being his house. And people were getting fined for doing it. I mean, it sounds like he should just be fined for all the times and maybe lose his job. That doesn't sound like something that you would go to jail for. It sounds like a shitty thing to do, but it doesn't sound like a jailable offense. Like, he should be fined the max amount for every time, so stack it, and then fire him. Yes. I mean, my grammar is not good in English. I don't expect my grammar to be good in Egyptian. I just don't think that's a jailable. I don't think you don't get to go to jail for being a hypocritical asshole. You go to jail for committing crime. And so it doesn't sound like the kind of thing that you would go to jail. Were there people that were having parties that were sent to jail? Because if that was the case, then yeah, apply it across the board. But it just doesn't sound like it's jailable. Mixing Fireball with cream soda tastes like a cinnamon bun? I might have to try that. All right, I'm willing to try. I'm willing to like maybe find Fireball mixed with something else that I would like or enjoy. So I'm willing to try it. Neil Young or Joe Rogan? Oh, Neil Young, I guess. Joe Rogan is like, I would love to have Joe Rogan on Non Sequitur, to be fair. That would be super duper entertaining. That would be a lot of fun, and I'd love to get to the point where we can have Joe Rogan on, or like vice versa, or we just do like a three-way like rotation roll around. That would be a lot of fun. I would love to have a conversation with Joe Rogan. Do I think he should lose his position? Probably. I would, although to be honest, I don't know if that's the reason why he should lose his position, but it certainly would be. People in Canada lost their positions for doing the same kind of thing, so it would make sense to me if he lost his position over it, provided the information you're feeding me is accurate. It's only about 5,000 hieroglyphs. Yeah, it's fine. All right. Fireball on vanilla ice cream. What? No, no, Ginger, I'm not familiar with that. Something has gone on that I am unfamiliar with, so link it in the comment section. If you wanted to, if anybody wants to send me links, by the way, just link them in the comment section afterward. I'll check everything out. Rum chata? Rum chata is good. I don't like cinnamon toast crunch. Cinnamon toast crunch is nasty. I don't even know why that exists. Throw it into the sun. Disgusting. Ugh. Ugh. We'd have to come up with some good, like, we gotta hire somebody who actually is trained in mixology and get the How to Drink guy. Yes! We're gonna get the guy from How to Drink to do some non sequitur mixologies for us, for the bar, for the non sec bar. We also will have to order an Absent Landlord, which is a beer, which is quite good. It's a craft. And we would also have to order in. There is a beer called Nonsensical that has a graphic that kind of looks like Kyle on it. It's a beer, and I cannot for the life of me remember who sent me a picture of it. But oh my god, I need this in my life. And especially if we have a bar. I would love to run a bar. I will run karaoke nights. I volunteer. We're absolutely having non sequitur karaoke nights at this bar. That will happen. And we will never tell you when it is. It's always going to be a surprise. Oh, the tipsy bartender? Yes. 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 Absolutely. 10 out of 10. Anyway, now that I've gotten over that guy's comment, don't do stuff like that. You used to run a pub? Okay, we pick you. I've never run a pub. I've run, like, kitchen stuff. I've worked at a pub. I've done stuff like that. I've done a lot of management and inventory management at other places that aren't a pub, but I've never run a pub. Soda water, vodka, Baileys, and root beer schnapps taste like a root beer float. Why wouldn't I just put vodka in a root beer float? Why wouldn't I just put vodka and Baileys in a root beer float? Why wouldn't I just use... No, I guess I wouldn't use that. I think there's vanilla root beer, isn't there? You can't dislike this stream? What? Really? Why? Is it, like, just the number not showing up, or you actually can't dislike it? Because that's just bizarre. If that's the case, I didn't do it. EKC could bartender? Yeah, hell yeah. I'm fine with Aaron running the bar. Enjoy your pizza, Mom. I am clearly going to be the bouncer. Have you... I'm the bouncer. Mess with me. Bartender and a dance DJ. Man, we're just going to have everybody work random rotating shifts. Come in and work a shift. Volunteer. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That'd be funny. I'm going to double check to make sure there's no questions waiting for me on Twitter. Can I elaborate on the position of people needing to work to survive? I mean, I think people are driven to have and desire progress and in their own endeavors. So I think if nobody did any work at all of any kind, I think people would get pretty fucking bored. And like, I mean, any kind of pursuit could be considered work, right? So I just think there's a difference in I don't think that the 9 to 5 grind work week is healthy in the current atmosphere or situation we're in. I don't think the current economic climate is very healthy from an economic standpoint and from like people's mentality and like that's people not being stressed the hell out. Realistically, I think we're advanced enough technologically that most countries, like, homelessness shouldn't exist. We live in a world that we have enough space, enough resources that homelessness shouldn't be a thing. There's not really the only real reason I think we have mostly people starving is because we don't manage our resources well. I would like to see something along the lines of probably in a video game format that had and gave access to like here's a map, like kind of like that what was that game where you had the infection, was it just called Infection, where you could create a virus and that like you could place it and could give it different things and then the goal was to have the virus spread around the planet and kill everybody as easily, like as quickly as you could. Something like that, but with economics. And so say, here's the world, here's the resources that are in each part of the world, balance everything as quickly as possible. And just put it out on as like a phone game that anybody can play and just collect the data and see what you get. I would just like to see something like that. I think something like that would be incredibly interesting, and I think you'd probably come up with some really pretty creative ideas. Pandemic, yeah. Oh, Plague, yes, Plague. That was it. Plague Inc. Correct. Chesh can't be a bartender if she can't see over the bar. Well, listen, if we build it from scratch, we can make everything my height. And so the bar is like a foot below everybody else. You gotta bend over to wash your hands in the bathrooms. I'm a fan. Yeah, I cleared most of the block list. I mean, I didn't unblock alt accounts because I didn't bother. And I probably missed 1 or 2 people because there's just like a lot of alt accounts and there's a lot of bot accounts. So if I missed somebody of like people that have come by to troll, then yeah, sorry I missed you. Double checking. Oh, Ginger a band. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll check these out after the stream is over. And somebody told me to check Discord. What am I looking for? That's a Mudkip lifting a potato? I think. I don't know. Dislikes disabled. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't disable them, so I have no idea. Can I dislike my own stream? Let's find out. Yeah, your thing says dislikes disabled, but Ash Scott was able to dislike it. Can I dislike it? I can Yeah, I can dislike it. Yeah. I can dislike my own stream. It might be something in your settings, Ink Boy. Oh, Manya, you might have just missed my mom. She went to go get her pizza. Does using a whip pan transition to make your footage look like it... Oh, a wipe. Make your footage look like it was all done in one shot count as cheating? Depends on what you're trying to portray. If you're trying to portray as if it depends. It depends. It might be a little bit of cheating, but I think it might be the okay kind of cheating. If you could cosplay as a character, which would it be? Goblins not allowed. I think her name is Kunade. Her or the little what's her? Oh God, hold on. I know the answer to this. Give me a second. I know the answer. Hold on. Okay, there's an anime called Beelzebub. And there's a girl with a wooden sword in that anime. Kuneda. Her name is Kuneda. So I love her like whole white outfit. I would want to do that one. But also in Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, there's Kana, who I also believe is the most adorable, and I'm short enough that I think I'd pull off a pretty good Kana. I think I'd pull off a pretty good Kana. I just liked it from all 50 sock accounts. Thanks, Ash. Big preach. This will be my most disliked stream because I get trolled by the people who actually follow me harder than the people who actually are trying to troll me from a malicious standpoint. And nobody will ever know because it's after YouTube turned it all off. Beelzebub is so not a scary name. Neither is Pazuzu. I mean, Zool maybe might be one of the better ones. I don't know. Listen, Kana is adorable. More Kana. More Kana all the time. That would be a lot of fun. I don't know if I can pull it off, but it would be fun. Do you mean that Athens, do you mean the character from Brain? Hello? New Leaf? What's in Animal Crossing? There you go. Which Artiodactyl is my favorite? Are moose part of that family, or is it just caribou that are part of that family? Because moose. If moose is an option, I'm picking moose. Are moose an option? Moose might be an option. What does the fox say? I do believe it's ring ding 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 ding. Or bap 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 bow. Who of the friend group can you genuinely troll the best in jest? Steve. Steve is the easiest to troll. Steve is so easy. I totally get why people troll Steve because he's easy to troll and it's funny. And he's good humored, so it's a good time. No, not yet. I unblocked all. I think I got all of the troll. If I didn't get them, then it's just an earnest mistake. But I haven't seen a single one of them come by. I gave them the opportunity, and surprise, surprise, none of them ever take anybody up on the offer to answer any of their questions. The Egyptian cat from Animal Crossing, yeah. Moose are. So yes, moose. I would pick moose. Moose. Ask Steve about the dick butts. Oh, I think I was only talking about that on Discord. So I was talking about dick butt on Discord. Yes, of course I was talking about dick butt on Discord. And I thought it would be really, really funny to make an animation of like a floppy dick laying down. And then just like slowly, like with like the like an orchestral score of it, like just slowly getting like more and more intense. And like the dick like kind of gets up and it sticks up like as if it's gonna like go erect, and it pops out two legs and it flips up in its dick butt. I just thought that would be a fun animation. I feel like I should probably do it to help me to learn. Oh, who trolls me the best? Sorry, I misunderstood your question. I thought you were asking who I troll the best. Rez gets me pretty good sometimes. You get me pretty good too, Feline, sometimes. Dapper trolls me pretty well too. I think everybody does a pretty good job. What's my favorite channel to go to and play a drinking game on Tuesdays around 8 p.m. Eastern? Obviously, Dapper Dino's channel with either Matt with Maddie or Eric with Erica or Kent with Bent. I'm a little bit partial to Kent with Bent. I love Bent. Bent is fun, adorable, and hilarious, and I am totally down for more Bent in my life at any point. Which direction am I transitioning? Well, I'm not getting any taller, so probably down. Will the dick have veins? I mean, I would assume so. Blindfold taste test. Can you tell moose from beef? However, bear tastes real bad. I've had bear before. I've never had moose. The bear I had was very good, but then again, it was very much crock-potted for like half of a day. So it was good. Of all the assets out there, who tends to trigger you the quickest? No individual, I don't think. I think maybe people care more than I do. So I don't think there's any individual that just frustrates me too quickly on their own. But is there a topic that maybe triggers me super fast? I don't know. I kind of have to be in a mood. It has less to do with what's being said and more have to do with like what kind of mood am I in? Because like sometimes I'm just like, wow, you know what, Steve? It's still Steve. Steve triggers me the fastest. He'll say or I'll do something and I'll be like, why? Why would you do this? What made you think this was a good idea? Steve. The answer is Steve. YouTube hiding dislike count helps community the same as you help your Pokemon team. Rude. Yeah, like a slow rise where it's like struggling and then it goes back down and then it struggles and like maybe you can put the veins on it so like the veins are pulsing to like try and get it up. And it's just dick butt. Oh, I'm sorry, Honest Red. Thanks for the enjoyable drama-free chat. Ginger. Come by again soon. Maybe I should do these more often just so there's like a chill place for people to hang out a little bit more. I was considering playing League of Legends because it's a new season and I was doing my placements yesterday and I was having a decent time. So I thought it might be fun to do that, but I also understand that I can't really do a Q&A at the same time and pay as much attention to your questions. So I figured I'd do one of these just on its own, but if you guys just want a place to hang out together, I can certainly provide that area. You guys will just have to bring the topics in the discussion a little bit harder. I won't be able to drive as easily, at least until I'm better practiced at it, especially if I'm playing ranks, which I would be. I enjoy trolling Chesh in particular. Her frustrated antics are rather adorable. Thanks. Hi, Jord. I'm doing okay. I'm hanging out. I'm hanging out doing a Q&A. When people are inconsistent, that triggers me. I mean, yeah. Yeah, again, there's like there's a degree of dramatization that happens on the internet where I think people think I care more than I do, and I mostly don't. That's why I'm not an activist, or I don't portray myself as an activist. I don't have the energy. I am a very tired person by nature at this point in my life, and so like I'm so busy that I'm like, I don't have the energy to care about most of these things. Like, I don't care about Katie Joy. I don't care. I sometimes there's value to be talked to talk about what she's up to, and sometimes there isn't. So there's value to having the conversation. It's just like, is there value in having a conversation with Candace Owens? I mean, maybe on something like Non Sequitur for the dumpster fire that it would be, and seeing her get her shit pushed in. Yeah, that might be valuable in that particular situation, right? But are you really gonna get worked up in your real life about something that Katie Joy said? Like, I understand it being frustrating or irritating or offensive, but are you really gonna, like, is it keeping you up at night? Why? Don't get real life mad over Katie Joy. Like, who fucking cares? Although I have seen people get frustrated and upset on my behalf, which I appreciate. But don't let it bother you too much. I do see that that dick butt anatomy that you said. It's pretty top tier. The entire skeleton is something a little bit concerning. I see your moveset, but I will raise you a narwhal. A narwhal would probably eat a moose and kill a moose, because I feel like the only way a narwhal is getting to the moose is when the moose is going fishing for food. So I feel like the narwhal would have advantage. I hate people who can't be where they said they'd be at the time they said they'd be there. I don't wait. If they're not there exactly on time or earlier, I'm gone without saying a word. That's fair. I don't like it when I have a couple of things where I draw my boundary lines, and I try to keep it simple. Don't fuck with my shit, and don't ignore me. I don't talk to people about their problems for my own health. I talk to people about their problems because they've asked me. So, like, hello, hi, yes, I am here to answer your question. Great, cool, let's do that. Let me answer your question. Let me help you through this. But if you ask me and then ignore what I'm saying, I'm gonna get frustrated. It's annoying. Don't waste my time is what that comes down to. I'm busy. Who out of the McCrazies and Unitards might be reachable like Keon? None that are terribly active, I don't think. I think that the majority of them that are active in what goes on are purposeful at that point, just purposeful and hateful. So I don't really think there's necessarily any individual that could be reached. I mean, maybe if somebody wanted to put the work in to figure out what the hell is the deal with fight and team, you might be able to get somewhere, but I don't. That'd be a kind of a waste of time, because I don't know if they'd really take anybody seriously unless they were bigger than they are. So I think that Oh, hi. So I don't know. I don't think it'd be worth it. It would just be like, the problem is with stuff like that is you have to consider the amount of energy that it takes, that it would take to walk somebody through that and like pull. It's just I don't know if there's. It's hard to say like nobody's worth it, because that's like, how do you value somebody like that? But who's like, who's gonna take the time and if there are any, they're probably very buried deep, not publicly. I would I would think. So there was one thing that happened where I got real life angry. Should be pretty easy to guess what. Uh huh. And to think some still said the offer was slash is a really good guy. Oh, the offender. Yeah, I mean, I can. It's different when somebody goes after you directly too. So like, people being real life angry, like to the point where it bothers them at like well after the fact, about like a situation that doesn't involve them, is I think different than somebody being real life frustrated and angry about somebody going after them in particular. It certainly doesn't mean don't care about that person, but it's there's degrees of separation which I think kind of get blurry and get people get lost in it when you're part of like an online community, where if everybody in the community is angry at this person, then you kind of get caught up in that wave and that in that wagon, so you end up getting brought along for the ride, and everybody's riling each other up, and it's like it was like the most mundane shit. It started off with a disagreement about definitions, and now it's you're committing crime. Like what? I don't know, it's just absurd. I think that's a fair assessment, Ash. Point of order with Keon is he is an edge case, as it wasn't really us that got to him, more that he did a lot of internal debate, introspection, and the consistency of the shit that others were up to. Yeah, the thing is like, nobody can save you from yourself. So there can certainly be people that help you, and the amount that we do and talk about and address the things that we feel, again, we don't address everything and we don't talk about everything because there's just too much. It's 24/7. It's 24/7 from multiple accounts, from multiple angles, yada 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 yada. So we don't address it everything all the time, because who's got the energy, and that's what they want. So a lot of the time, addressing things that are reasonable and fair questions is the best way to do something like that, right? Because then people who are likely to get driven one way or another, if I mean, that's what Katie Joy did to Steve, right? She was telling people about this Steve guy, and the people who looked into Steve and took the time to go look discovered that, wow, he's just some guy that likes philosophy. What the fuck? Right? Like, what? How did we get here? Young Earth creationism is more interesting than flat earthers. For flat Earth, it's just as crazy, but people actually hold positions of power that aren't just internet losers. Yeah, I think that I think that's a good point. I think that young Earth creationists are currently more interested. I think there are some flat earthers that are still interesting, but not really right now. It's more of like there's not Flat Earth hasn't brought anything new to the table for a while, and young Earth creationism has brought some new things to the table, which I think, or at least hasn't been exhausted in the topics. And I think that there are enough people that are misinformed about a lot of science is a worthwhile conversation. Did I know that Christmas is a Christian holiday? Nope, didn't know. Sounds like fake news. I'm gonna need a citation. There hasn't been a new flat earth argument since 2019. Yeah. With an atheist and an agnostic at the helm, is the non sequitur show going to get isolated into a YouTube world where everyone else says no true Scotsman? Maybe. I'd like to think that mine and Steve's personal beliefs are going to be tertiary and only brought up when relevant to letting people know where we're kind of coming from in those kind of discussions in particular. I really don't think when it comes down to things like basic science or basic sociology, stuff like that, I really don't think our personal beliefs are going to be that relevant to the show. The show was never meant to be an atheist show. We're sticking with the opinions are sacred. That stays. Although I do enjoy the number of people that don't understand what an opinion is and what that statement means. They seem to think that that means all opinions are equal, and that is not the case. That's not how opinions work. Earth creation has been thoroughly debunked as flat Earth. Really? I don't know if I agree with that. I don't think that's the case. I think that there's plenty more to be discussed, and maybe in I think the non sequitur setting might be valuable for that. Kent Hovind is too busy beating his ex-wife to come up with any new young earth creationist arguments. Kent Hovind hasn't come up with anything new ever. I'm not even convinced that Kent Hovind's original shit that he was talking about in like what was that, the 80s was even original. The fact that young earth creation is believed by more people, including politicians, makes it more relevant. Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that when you have anti-science politicians, you're in trouble. Some reporters on YouTube seem to think that opinions are facts. Do I really need to make a video explaining opinions? I mean, I did do that little clip show of time. Do I need to do one of opinions? I mean, I could make a video explaining what an opinion is, and so you can suss that out for yourselves. I feel like I probably don't need to. Creation debates are less fun than young earth debates. They just retreat into a gap in our knowledge, and then the conversation is over. I don't know. Dapper getting Kent to admit that he didn't know what a dinosaur was is pretty great. Would I be willing to invite Shannon Q on Non Sequitur? I know she was part of some of the disaster, but it seems like she was a passenger and not an engineer on Kyle's train crash. I would recommend rewatching the episode, the fallout of the video that came out right after the death of the Non Sequitur, and maybe reassess that opinion. A lot of I don't know if Shannon is aware of this, but a lot of the accusations made about Steve first publicly showed up from her. So I'm not saying she could never come on. I think I would probably mostly leave that to Steve because he's the one who got backstabbed. But I would think there would have to be some serious conversations between her and Steve, and some conversations or public things that would have to happen before that would be the case. Particularly, maybe an explanation and a address of her association with the people who fucking hate Steve. So, like, her association with Nate would be on my list of questionable, because then it becomes an issue of like publicity, and I don't think it would be a good look for Non Sequitur to be associating with anybody who is like works with Jimmy Snow or works for Jimmy Snow or works with or for Nate Brody. So I think that there would be a conflict of interest to have Shannon on while she's working for Jimmy Snow, which would be an issue with the line. So I imagine that would be that would be something that would end up being like a little bit too conflict of interest-y. It's not to say never. It's just like, especially right now, there's some time and some pretty fresh wounds that I think would need to be dressed and stitched and given some time to heal before that would be viable. I also don't know what we would have her on for. Like, I don't know what she would provide that non sequitur would want. So, besides those things, I don't... Whatever. Wow, I didn't know that about y'all. I just recently found y'all and was trying to figure out where y'all stand on atheism because I've seen talk from y'all against it. Now I wonder if it's sarcasm. I'm an atheist, to be clear. I mean, it's a Q&A. I am an atheist. I don't think a lot of the online atheist community is a good community. I think it's rather toxic, and I think it's rather shitty for the most part. I'm also not really against people having religious beliefs. Like, I'm not anti-God. If you believe in God, that's fine. I don't have an issue with that. Go for it. Maybe we could have a discussion about it. But I'm not big on lying. I'm not big on lying to people about for political gain, which is a lot of religious groups in the States do, and so do a lot of atheist organizations in the States. So I'm just kind of against that kind of shit. I'm not the biggest fan of a lot of organized religion, just because I don't think organized religion tends to follow its own tenets most of the time, particularly when it comes to Catholicism and Christianity. So I'm not against you believing in the Catholic God and engaging in Catholic rituals, but I am against hiding and moving around people who have assaulted children, right? So, like, that is a problem with the organization, not necessarily a problem with the belief, if that makes sense. Well, I mean, all hail the Church of the Void. I just don't like I'm not a fan of... I like picking on bad argumentation no matter where it's coming from. So if a theist makes a good argument, I will acknowledge that as a good argument. Totally fine with that. Steve has some really good agnostic arguments. I'm fine with that too. I don't know if Flurfs never talk to me. Like, people who think the earth is flat don't really engage with me at all and will never come on when I'm on. And every time they have come on when I'm on, they never come back. So, isn't there an atheist organization that in Canada that lies to people as well? Yep. Yes. Yeah, hopefully that clears up your questions. If you have any further questions, feel free to ask. Like, we're not... On my channel, at least, we're not exactly anti anything except, like, maybe anti-bad argumentation and, like, anti-shit. Like, like, don't be a shitty person to other people for no reason. Like, oh my god. Like, what is your problem? It doesn't mean don't be an asshole, because you can be a justified asshole sometimes, but, like, you're just hateful towards people because... No? Why? Like, why? Why? I think I'm the same kind of atheist you are. What are your favorite / effective arguments to frame against God? The problem of evil is good. That part of that will have to do with what type of religion you're talking about, because I find, like, a lot of religious beliefs tend to be useless. In that, if they're, like, divine hiddenism would probably sum that argument up. Divine hiddenism I find convincing. Like, if God exists, why is he hiding from us? If he's hiding from us, why does it matter if we worship him or believe in him or not? And so, like, I feel like the also lack of I understand the euphemism of, or is that a euphemism? That might be the wrong word. I understand like the evidence, absence of evidence is not evidence of absence, except sometimes it is. So like I do find like, okay, if this is true, what do we expect to see? We don't see those things. I find that convincing. I don't find that to be like the lack of belief argument, because the lack of belief argument is not an argument. It's a burden shift. But I do say, hey, listen, if the God of, if Jesus and the God of Christianity is true, then what would we expect to see? We don't see those things, so therefore I don't think it's true. And I believe it's not true in that case. Why do I get the feeling that once a philosophical position is formed into organization, it's almost guaranteed to turn to shit? It kind of, the thing is that you can't have an organization without a philosophical position of some kind. So I think it's less of a having a philosophical position and more of a having a wishy-washy, unclear. I find it's more problematic when you turn whatever your organization is towards politics. As less philosophy and more politics. If you make your organization about politics, and you don't have a solid foundation and a solid philosophy behind it, it's gonna go shit. It is gonna go shit. What if God was a dungeon master and we're all level 1 noobs? Try not to get ambushed by goblins. You're probably gonna die. Turning a position into organization seems to automatically create a club or an echo chamber for that position. So I think people have a generalization, an unreasonable fear of echo chambers. I think people are far more concerned about echo chambers than they necessarily need to be. Only because echo chambers are an extreme. If you have a group of people that are like-minded and they're hanging out together, that's not an echo chamber. It's not. It's fine. You can do that. You can do that and there's no problem. So I don't really see a problem with having like a lack-theist Facebook group where they all talk about lack-theist argumentation and or Christian apologetics, and that's what they talk about there. That's fine. Have that group. If that group is the only place you're going ever, then that, like, an echo chamber is a you problem, not a group problem, right? And so it might be something that the group organizer might want to be concerned about for their members, but it's not a concern of the group as a whole, if that makes sense. An echo chamber, when you get in an echo chamber, it being an echo chamber is because that's the only place that you are going. And so that becomes an individual problem, not the problem of the group itself. Now, if the group itself becomes toxic in that they only want you going there and they only want you thinking, so they start using like culty tactics to try and drag and keep you in that group and only getting information from that group and only like curating the group and the information that you're looking at, you've got another problem on your hands. A different kind of problem. Yeah, money can be a problem. Do you enjoy hobgoblin? I do. I've had a hobgoblin one time and I loved it, and I would love to get it again sometime. I got it at a place called Beer Town. And I've never seen it on shelves, so I haven't been able to get it again. Look at Chesh's Discord. We agree on very little in there. It's true. We are like-minded individuals, but we are not, for the most part, but we don't agree on most things. We're like-minded and we all don't like shitty argumentation, and we all like to like troll around and have a good time. We're not that serious. And I think being able to not take yourself seriously is a practiced gift. Don't take yourself too seriously all the time. It's okay to be jokey. It's all right. Don't worry about it. So that's why flirts don't talk to you. They're avoiding ambushes by goblins. Listen, if it's one goblin and you're more than one, you're probably fine. One of you might die. But most of the time, one goblin is not going to ambush more than one person, because that'd be a ballsy goblin. That's why discussion groups that invite different ideas where you can explore different positions are more favorable than specific groups like Atheist Organization of X, Y, and Z. In some cases, yes. I understand wanting to have that community of like, no, we all agree here and we're here to support each other. I think having support groups and support systems is fine. I think that's totally okay. Just the individual and the owner of the group need to be aware of potential problems and be able to nip them in the bud when they do happen, if they do happen. So if you are someone who is part of a group and you notice that you're not really going anywhere else, then maybe find an unrelated hobby where you're interacting with more people. What if the goblin is a lich? Then it's a lich. It's a lich. We all agree that Jar Jar is probably... we're not talking about... become a member and join the Discord if you want to hear me go off about some story creative nonsense, because I will lose my mind. I will absolutely lose my collective shit. Is that a hickey on my chest? No, I was just right there. No, I just scratched when I was moving my necklace. Sadly, no, it is not a hickey. Do you think you could get David Peters on NSS? Put me in a room for a dumpster fire. I mean, who's David Peters? And probably, why wouldn't we be able to get him? I'm fine with that. The Death Star was actually a pizza. Shaped like a pizza. Pizza Death Star. Goblin Lich is equivalent to agnostic atheist. The goblin would be a lich. So it would have the stats of a lich, it would have all the abilities of a lich, it would just have the body of a goblin, and, like, I don't know, maybe you would make some stat adjustments because it's, like, give it Fury of the Small or something, but it would still be a lich, because a lich isn't defined by what race it was when it was alive, it's defined by that it's a lich now, so that would take priority. If you're fighting a goblin and you find out that that goblin is a lich, then you're dead. Probably, depending on what level you are, but you're probably dead. Pseudo-paleontologist or pseudo-paleontologist. Oh, that sounds interesting. I like that idea. I'm a fan of the theory that the Loch Ness Monster is actually a lot of interwoven smaller Loch Ness monsters. What's my favorite Spaceballs quote? Probably... the whole movie. I love that movie. Probably, what's the matter, Colonel Sanders? Chicken? Shit gets me every time. I love that movie. So only one man would dare give me the raspberry. Loans. Comb the desert. Of course this is what he meant. You find anything? He's got the megaphone talking right beside him, and then he puts the megaphone down and shouts. We ain't found shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It sounds like something an idiot would put on his luggage. Oh, that's the same thing I have on my luggage. What's that coming out of her nose? It's Mega Maid. She's gone from suck to blow. I'm surrounded by assholes. Who made that man a gunner? I said across her nose, not up it. I'm sorry, sir. I'm doing my best. Colonel, who made that man a gunner? I did, sir. He's my cousin. And who are you? Asshole. Keep fire. Have you gone over my helmet? I'm your father's brother's cousin's former roommate. And that makes us absolutely nothing, which is what you are about to be. You fell for one of the easiest tricks in the book. And this is why evil will always win. Because good is dumb. That's probably my favorite. Evil will always win because good is dumb. I can't. I'll do this all day. Anything that's said by Rick Moranis. I fucking love Rick Moranis. I've heard rumors that he's coming back to do movies again, and I am very excited if that is the case. I don't even care what it is he decides to be in, I will probably watch it. And I don't watch a whole lot of much, because I am very busy. This is me being very busy, by the way. Alright. How long have we been streaming? We've been streaming for 2.5 hours. Holy crap. Alright. No wonder my voice is getting tired. Okay. I will do this again if you guys are interested. As you can tell, nobody came in here to actually challenge me or call me out or any of that stuff. Good is dumb. That makes Cheshire lawful good. Oh, because you're calling me dumb? So lawful good is generally considered lawful stupid. I'll go into this more. I have a whole video already scripted and recorded. It just needs to be like edited together, and I have an opening that I need to make for the other Dungeons and Dragons channel. This will probably be the first video that goes out. It's just talking about alignment and explaining 5th edition alignment. But lawful good is generally considered the lawful stupid, which is like the, oh, you're gonna do anything that's dumb, da 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 da, and like fine, whatever. But lawful, I don't think lawful good is actually lawful stupid. I think lawful neutral is actually lawful stupid, because lawful neutral is the person who's going to apply the law whether it's beneficial to them or not. So if that's the case, then it, like, that would mean that you're the person who's turning your party members in, and you're following the law whether or not it actually is pragmatic or makes sense. So that, like, lawful neutral in my brain is where I would place lawful stupid, not lawful good. Because lawful good is trying to apply the law in a way that's good for everybody. So I would say lawful neutral for lawful stupid. But that's just my interpretation. I have a whole video about this. Okay, I gotta get this set up. Once I'm done writing the opening for that, I have so many plans, and it's been so slow going. Just because of, like, I mean, I'm not complaining because Non Sequitur is back. I've been spending so much time on that, and well as with that time of the month, which I would love to see that turned into, like, a weekly talk show. But that's, like, a big commitment that I don't want to ask the guests and the hosts, and it would have to be its own channel at that point. So maybe once Non Sequitur is settled and ready to go, and it's, like, everything's smooth, running smoothly, we've got, like, it's already doing very, very well from what my expectation was. Especially in the guest department and the planning ahead department. Fantastic. I'm for it. The Discord's almost ready to go. I am very excited. But then I'll probably, what I need to do for the D&D channel is I need to animate an opening. And that's just something that takes a lot of time for me to do because I'm not very practiced at animation, so it's very slow going for me to do that. So I kind of just need to be able to sit down and take a day or two to get the animation done. Once I get that done and sorted, then you'll start seeing videos come out on that channel. So I'll be putting that out. 3 days into The Legend of Vox Machina, bless. I haven't seen Arcane yet, but that's because I've been watching Komi-san, And Komi-san is super adorable, and I love it. So I will be catching up on Arcane soon, and I'll definitely be watching The Legend of Bakuman when I get to the point. No, don't spoil it for me. And I'm very pleased with myself because I am actually currently all caught up on Critical Role Season 3, and I really, really want to do character analysis videos for that show on the D&D channel when I get the opening done. Wish me luck. If I was a hot dog, would I eat myself? Ah, you hit him already? I didn't even see what he said. Ah, boo, Rez. Boo. Have you seen some of the t-shirts and mugs list alignment is funny descriptions? Some of them are great. Yeah, I have seen some of those. They're hilarious. I also want to do a video before we make the changeover for all of the Non Sequitur Show merch. I really, really, really want to do a breakdown of some of that merch because it's absolutely trash, and I want to talk about why it's trash. But I'll do that here. I'm not going to do that on Non Sequitur Show channel. What did Agrippa say? LOL, Non Sec Show is a train wreck. It's tanking. No, let him stay. It's fine. It's fine. Unhide. Hi, Agrippa. If you say so. I'm sure you would know. You would know most about failing businesses. But can we please applaud Agrippa for being the only one to show up, although he still hasn't asked a question or challenged me on anything? And he showed up right when I was setting up to leave. Boo! If I were a hot dog, would you eat yourself? Only if I was an Oscar Mayer wiener. If flour was an animal, what color would it be? Purple. All right. I'm going to take off. Go sub to Non Sequitur Show. We'll see you over there. I'm looking forward to seeing whatever questions get left for me. Maybe Agrippa will actually have a question. Or maybe he'll come by next time and he can, you know, have something worthwhile to say. What? What? It's a Q&A, dude. It's an AMA. Why did you show up? Oh, whatever. All right. I'm not. I'll do another AMA as per Agrippa's request. And I will see you guys then. I'll let you know ahead of time, maybe a little bit more. Maybe I can do one next month. All right. I don't know if I'll have time to do another one this month. But tell you what, you guys let me know in the comments section and let me know on Twitter what you think. If you enjoyed this, if you want to do more of these, I can make this maybe a weekly thing. Now I want an Oscar Mayer wiener, some bitch. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Everybody have a good night. I don't have an exit to play because I didn't set that up. So enjoy the screen for a little bit. Bye.